I usually like to try and talk to them first. Otherwise, I will email them or try to call their phone during office hours.
My favorite way, however, is the face-to-face interface. Nothing's ever going to replace the ability to look at somebody in the face and communicate. You get the body language, you get the intonations. Right now, I find myself doing a lot of texting.
Is through cell phones, I feel. It's just right there. You can leave a voicemail. You know that person has to recognize your voicemail. A lot of my teachers try to do it through emails. I think that's terrible because a lot of me and my students and my fellow students don't look at emails. So I come back the next day and I realize that she put something on the email, like a new assignment. I totally forgot about it. I didn't even know about it. And she expects everyone to read the emails. Emails are snail mail, and I don't like them. And I don't like to check them out.
Unfortunately, I think we rely way too much on email. I'm really believe in the personal contact, you know, where we actually talk, we see each other, we can look at each other, we can see the facial expressions that say, they didn't get what I just said, as opposed with email, it's so impersonal. But we're such a mobile society, we have to text, we have to email, you know, we do documents back and forth. Sometimes it's the only way we can talk with friends and family, as well as our students, other faculty members, staff members, just our colleagues. I have friends that have, like, I think they're called webcams, and they do it that way. They love it. I just haven't gotten to that stage yet where I have a webcam in order to do it myself. But it seems fascinating because, again, it's as close to probably in-person communication that you can have because you can read people's faces. You can, I think you hear better because you see the expressions. And you kind of understand whether what you just said made them mad or whether they thought it was funny and you didn't mean it to be funny, or I just think it's the best way to communicate.
Okay, well, the fastest and easiest way is text message because people don't always want to pick up their phone calls, but they could always, even if they're in a meeting, they could like sneak in a text message or whatnot. So I'd say that's the most awesome way. With my teachers, though, it's always by email. They don't want to be called. They're busy. They want emails.
Do you wish there was a better way to communicate with your teachers?
No, I mean, depending on the browser and the service at school, if everything's working, email's pretty efficient. Otherwise, when it's not, it can get pretty frustrating.
What I usually do at the beginning of each semester is carve out about 15 minutes per student, set up a schedule, have them come to my office and basically tell me about themselves. And they can ask me any question they want. And one of my favorite questions is asking them, what do I need to know about them as human beings and as learners to help facilitate their learning this semester. And then sometimes I also let them know what I need in order for them to help me facilitate our learning as a class this semester. And the response is usually positive because, especially for transfer students who have come from a community college setting, often this is the first time in their short academic life, 2 years, 2.5 years, that they've actually had uninterrupted time with a professor. And for some of them, they told me that it's the first time that a professor has ever talked with them one-on-one in his office. So I try to do that, and then since most of my classes involve writing, I also meet with them at least 3 times a semester. So my interaction with students is fairly abundant, and I also tell them that they oftentimes have to make the leap into going and talking with their professors, because I said even in small classes, the small classes we have here at St. Mary's College, your professor will remember you if you go see him or her. And I said, you know, make up a question. If you have no questions, make one up, or just go in simply with the broad question of how am I doing in class and what advice do you have for me so I can, you know, so I can be successful in this class, because then the professor will remember you because you're interesting.
Like as far as like a Twitter, or I mean, I guess a text message would be the best because everyone has a cell phone.
I like to use email. The problem with email, however, is that not every student checks their email in a timely manner. I tell them at the beginning of the semester that this is my favorite way to communicate. and to be sure to look at email daily. Beyond that, if I can't reach them by email, I have no problem giving out my cell phone number. I find that the students don't abuse that. And some students, they like to get text messages. So if I've got a student that is really busy, if they're an athlete, they're playing sports, and I know they don't have a lot of extra time, I will text them. And it's a funny thing, they always get back to me by text. Just takes me a little longer to type in what I want to say to them.